data structures in terms of series and in terms of data frame. So series data structure is one-dimensional, and then the data frame is multi-dimensional, and most of the time we use it when it is two-dimensional. So when you see an Excel is a two-dimensional data structures where we have rows and columns. So when we talk about data frame, we are talking about something like this, like an Excel where we have columns and then we also have rows. So data frames have rows and they also have columns. So there's always various ways of coming up with a data frame. You can come up with a data frame by reading an Excel or a CSV or a SQL. You can also come up with a data frame from turning a dictionary into a data frame. So what we'll do first, we'll start with creating a dictionary, then we'll see how we can turn it to a data frame. Remember, I've just said that Pandas is rather data frame is a data structure that's coming from Pandas. Pandas is a very powerful Python module for data analysis. And when you are a data analyst, you must know how to use Pandas. And mostly rather the data structures that you'll mostly use in terms of tabular data will be data frame. So data frame is a data structure that stores data in a tabular form. So when we talk about tables, we are talking about rows and columns. That's why I'm trying to reference the Excel workbook as a good example of data frame. So let's try to create a dictionary, and let's see how we can come up with a data frame for a dictionary. So we'll start, say, let's say my data, or just let's call it data is equal to, so we are trying to create a dictionary so that we can come up with a data frame. Data is equal to so let me start with name. So the names of these people will be, I'll start with James, Joshua, then Mary, Tash, then we have Fabian. Remember, the strings must be within open and closing inverted commas or the double quotes. This is Fabian. Then this other one is Dixon. So let's talk about their hometown. Not actually hometown, but the countries where they come from. So I can say country, here you must have a comma. Country, then country, and say Kenya. And this other person is also coming from Kenya. The other person from Mumbai, not Kenya, but let me call this one to be Zimbabwe. This other one to be South Africa. So let me change this one to Tanzania as opposed to Kenya. We must have an iPhone. I'll leave that one to Kenya. So here we have the other names. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So countries also we must have 6. So here we can also have UAE, and then lastly you can have USA. We have 6. Then let's talk about their ages. So this guy, the first guy is 45. Next one is 33. The other one is 26 and 37. We have another one 40. We have 25. Those are 6. And also talk about let's talk about their income. We can talk about income, the income that each and every one of them is earning. So this first guy can say 20, let's say $25,000 per year. The one is $45,000. So the one is $15,000. The other one is $35,000. 5,000. Then we have the last two to be 43,000 and 15,000 respectively. Okay. So now this is a data frame. What else can we add? And add have name, we have country, we have age, we have income. You can also add the number of children, or you can talk about marital status. Right. We also need an hyphen, rather colon. Then let's talk about marital underscore status. So the first guy you can say is married. The other guy is married as well. The other one is single. been married. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Post. Divorced. Single. Let's talk about the number of kids that they have and say number of kids, number of children, children. So the first guy is and say 2 children. Let's say 4. The next guy is having 5, and the other person is the single guy is having 1, and another married is having 6. Means the one is having he's having 4 children, and then the other single guy is also is having 0. 0 to mean no child. And you can also talk about the number of boys that they have. Number of boys. Let's leave it at that and see. Let's make it simple. So this is the data frame that we have. So now when we print data, so this is a dictionary. So we want to change this dictionary into a data frame. What we'll do here, we'll come here and say, let me just call it df in data frame is equal to pd dot data frame, mean pandas dot data frame in bracket. We have data, and then can also choose, no, let me just leave it as it is, and let me run this code now. And then now when I come down here and print data and see what we have as a data frame. No, I need to print not data, but I need to print df. So you'll see what we have as. So this is our pandas data frame. You can see we have rows, and then we have columns. So we were saying that data frame has rows and columns, and then it is it stores data in tabular form. So this is a table. This is what we call a data frame. And then you can see we have here, we have the columns, name, country, age, income, marital status, and then we also have number of children. This number of children, let me just say children and call this one children. And then we also have rows. So rows are being numbered from 0 to 1. So the first row here will be 0 and the last row is 5. So that's getting a data frame from a dictionary. Again, you can also get a data frame from can as well get a data frame by reading in Excel. So here I can say df1 to mean data frame 1. Frame 1 is equal to pd.read in bracket, then open inverted commas, then C, then colon. Then now you want to use double backslash, then we have users. Mine, I'm getting my Excel file from my C drive, and then I have a file called users. Within that file called users, I also have a file called Ben. Then within that folder called Ben, I also have desktop. So my desktop is within the folder called Ben. Then now within the desktop now I have tb underscore f1 dot xlsx. So I'm reading an Excel file, and then the Excel file is coming from an Excel workbook, and the Excel workbook is the tb underscore f1. So the Excel sheet will say sheet name is equal to now let me read the budget. Let me call it budget and underscore 1. Then now I can also run and print F1 to see if we can read our file from Excel workbook. So this is our Excel file, and then when take you this side of Excel, so this is what's our budget underscore 1. So this is the file that we just read, as columns, months, and all that. So that's all about the introduction of a data frame. So that's a data frame, and then within a data frame we have rather when we are trying to work with data frame, we have quite a lot of data frame properties or Panda properties that you can use to have a subset of data from a data frame. But now let me just try to print df. So df will give me the first data frame that we had from the dictionary. So this our data frame from the dictionary called df. So we have when we want to create subsets of data, maybe you want to select a particular row, a particular column, or you want to just select a subset of data in terms of rows and columns. We have some two powerful properties, the lock and the iLock. a property called lock and the iLock lock. So the lock will select data in terms of row labels and column labels, and we also have the iLock, and the iLock will select a subset of data in terms of row index and column index. So let's start with the lock. So lock will select data in terms of column labels and row labels. The column labels here that we have is name, country, age, income, vital status, and children. And the row labels that we have is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we want to select a single row using lock, what we do here, we'll say, so let's say we want to say, I want to have a subset data 1, so we can say sub underscore df1 is equal to we can say we want to just select a single row, so we can say sub underscore df1 is equal to df dot lock, then in bracket we can select the row that we want to subset. Like now we want to talk about the first row, which is 0, so I will select 0. So when I print sub underscore df1, we'll see what we have. So when we print, you see it cannot print, it's showing pandas.coindexing abcd. Means that we must put this the data that we've selected into a data frame. So what I will do here, I will rather, there's an error that we've done. We need to use these square brackets, not the normal brackets. Let's try to print sub underscore df1. So this is what we have as the first. Let me just try to create a space in between. Print. So this one, I'm just trying to create a space between the first data frame and the next. So this is the data frame that we just printed with one row. So it is giving us a name of 0. The row is name 0. Data type is an object. So we've just printed a single row. So we can write here printing in single row of data frame. So when you want to print more than one row data points, you can choose the various rows. So I will come down here and say printing, or rather subsetting, selecting. When you say selecting, it's not printing, but we are selecting. We are saying selecting single row. Then now we are selecting multi rows. So now we again will still use log. So to select multi-rows, we'll still use the log, but now we'll mention the number of rows that we want to select. So we can say here sub underscore df2 is equal to df.log. And now we want multiple rows, so I will want to select them. Let me start with 1 instead of 0, then the other one I will choose 3, and the other one I will choose 5. So let's print and see what we have as the subset data for df2 in bracket sub df2. Let me create a space here. So let me just paste. Actual space but line. Line between the space between the data frames. So this is what I'm trying to do here. Doing the escape characters n. I want to print the sub df2. Indexing too many indexes. Okay, because these are these are numerical values, so you're being told there are too many indexes. So what I need to do, I need to put this one within another bracket, another square bracket, so that we are selecting the rows and not confusing the two with the columns. So this is our second data frame. You can see what we have as the subset df2. So this we've selected multiple rows. So what about when you want to select a range of rows? You want to select a range of rows such that we can maybe want to say that you want to select from 2 to 5, or from 3 to 5, or from 0 to 3. So what do we do? So I'll come down here again and say sub underscore df3 equal to df.log. Okay, we are selecting a range of rows, so maybe I can say from 0 to 2, 0 to 3, and down here I can print sub df3 sub df3 is what we have done here. I was trying to print a line in between, but it's not coming out, so let me do this. So Let me run the code again. So these are the points. I'm just trying to get space between the data frames. So this was df1. df1 was this one. This is df2, and this is df3. So df3 we just printed we've selected multiple rather range of rows, printing, not printing but selecting range of rows, and again can also, after selecting a range of rows, we can now move on to selecting columns. And now move on to selecting columns, but for selection of columns, let me just do in a different video. So far we've done selection of rows. So we are dealing with rows. We've seen now to select a range of rows, and then multiple rows, and then a single row. So with the single row, you can even choose this one to be 5 or rather 4. So it will only print the data within row 5. If you check this one, you can see we have UA Fabian on that one, and then the row is 405. Okay, so I wanted to stop at that. So when we come back, we'll be talking about subsetting data from a data frame, but now we'll be using columns. So thanks a lot for watching, and let's meet again on the next video when we'll be doing the selecting data frame as in risk, or rather with respect to columns. So thanks a lot for watching.